There's a difference between being an older man who grabs attention and one who makes women secretly uncomfortable. You've seen both types, the silver-haired man at the bar with quiet confidence, naturally attracting younger women, and then the other kind, the one trying too hard, unaware that he's embarrassing himself. This isn't just about looks. It never is. It's about presence, energy, and awareness. Nothing turns a younger woman off faster than an older man acting the way he thinks she wants instead of being true to himself. So, if younger women seem interested at first but then quickly lose interest, you're probably making one of these 7 mistakes. And the worst part? You might not even notice it. Let's get into it. Mistake 1. Trying to act young instead of owning your age. Nothing pushes a younger woman away faster than an older guy desperately holding onto youth. You know the type, wearing sneakers meant for teenagers, using slang that went out of style 5 years ago, bringing up TikTok trends like he's keeping up when he's really just copying what he read on some guide about how to relate to Gen Z. Here's the thing, you're not 25 anymore, and that's fine. Actually, it's more than fine. It's your strength. Younger women aren't drawn to older men because they want another version of a 25-year-old. They want things younger guys can't offer: stability, wisdom, depth, and the confidence of truly knowing who you are. But when you try to act young, you lose what makes you attractive in the first place. The cringe of trying too hard. Imagine walking into a bar and seeing a man in his 40s wearing a backward cap, an oversized hoodie, expensive sneakers, and saying things like "no cap" and "fi." How does that look? Not young. Not cool. Just awkward. There's a reason Sean Connery still turned heads in his 60s. He wasn't out here pretending to be in his 20s. He owned his age and made it look great. A man who embraces his years earns respect. A man who fights them looks desperate. The right approach. Want to be attractive as an older man? Stop trying to be younger. Start being better. Instead of chasing trends, focus on timeless style. Instead of learning Gen Z slang, speak with intelligence and clarity. Well-spoken words have more impact than any trendy phrase ever will. Instead of forcing yourself into youthful spaces, create your own environment so that younger people naturally gravitate toward you. Because at the end of the day, women, especially younger ones, don't want a man still trying to find himself. They want a man who knows exactly who he is. Mistake 2. Flaunting your money in a way that screams insecurity. Let's be honest, wealth is attractive. It shows success, capability, and security. But the moment you start showing it off, it becomes a turnoff. Younger women don't dislike that older men have money. They dislike when older men think money is the only thing they offer. There's a big difference between being a man who has wealth and a man who uses wealth to hide his insecurities. And trust me, women can sense that difference from a mile away. How it looks when done wrong. Picture this: a man in his late 40s is out with a younger woman. Within the first 10 minutes, he's name-dropping fancy restaurants, talking about his Porsche, and mentioning how much his watch cost. She nods, smiles politely, but inside, she's completely turned off. Because she's not seeing a confident man. She's seeing a man begging, "Please let me impress you." A truly successful man doesn't feel the need to constantly prove his success. He lets his presence, his lifestyle, and his confidence speak for themselves. A wealthy man who needs everyone to know he's wealthy is poorer than he realizes. Mistake 3. Complaining about modern women like it's a personality trait. If there's one thing that will make a younger woman instantly lose interest, it's an older man who sounds resentful about the dating world. You know the type, always saying how women today are entitled, how back in my day, women were different, how social media has ruined everything. Look, some of that might be true. The world has changed. But the moment you start ranting about it, you put yourself in the same category as the guy at the bar yelling about how music was better in the 80s. It doesn't make you sound wise, it just makes you sound outdated. Why it's so unattractive. When you complain about women, you're telling them. You feel powerless in dating. You have unresolved bitterness. You don't adapt, you just blame. And nothing is less attractive than a man who blames the world instead of learning how to succeed in it. Younger women don't dislike older men, but they do dislike older men who act like victims. Mistake 4. being too possessive and controlling. There's a saying, the tighter you grip something, the faster it slips away. Nowhere is this more true than in relationships. Younger women don't dislike older men, but they do dislike older men who treat them like possessions. A confident man makes her feel desired. A possessive man makes her feel trapped. And the worst part? Most men don't even realize they're doing it. At first, it seems like caring. Text me when you get there. Who are you going out with? You're wearing that? But gradually, it turns into control. Why didn't you answer my call right away? I don't like you spending time with those friends. I don't trust other men around you. And just like that, what started as attraction becomes suffocation. Why older men fall into this trap. Men aren't naturally controlling, but life teaches some to become this way. By the time a man reaches his 40s or 50s, he's likely experienced a painful breakup that caught him off guard, a woman leaving him for someone else, seeing younger, attractive men as competition. So what happens? Instead of trusting that he is enough, he starts guarding his woman like a possession. He believes that if he watches her closely, she won't cheat. If he checks her phone, he'll always know the truth. If he controls her life, she won't leave. But here's what he doesn't see. He's destroying attraction faster than anything else. Because control doesn't make a woman stay. It makes her run. Mistake 5. Talking down to her like she's a child. One of the biggest mistakes older men make. They stop being attractive and start being patronizing. It happens so easily that they don't even notice. They assume that because they have more life experience, they have the right to constantly correct her, explain things, and tell her how the world really works. And guess what? Nothing kills attraction faster. How this looks in real life. Imagine a young woman excitedly sharing something she just learned. Maybe a new book, an interesting fact, or something she's passionate about. Now watch how the wrong type of man responds. Oh, that's cute. You just figured that out? Yeah, I've known that for years. Trust me, you don't really understand how that works yet. It's subtle, but it destroys attraction instantly. Why it's a huge turnoff? Because instead of engaging with her, he's dismissing her. Women, especially younger ones, don't want to be lectured. They want to be heard. The psychology behind why this backfires. Older men sometimes believe their worth in a relationship comes from being the wise mentor. And while there's nothing wrong with sharing knowledge, how you do it makes all the difference. You can either be the older man who makes her feel small, be the older man who makes her feel inspired. One will push her away, the other will draw her closer. Mistake 6. Dressing like you've stopped caring. It doesn't matter how successful or charming you are. If you look like you just rolled out of bed, you're already at a disadvantage. And many older men fall into this trap. At some point, they stop paying attention to their appearance. They tell themselves, I'm too old to dress well. I don't need to impress anyone. If a woman truly likes me, she'll accept me as I am. But here's the harsh reality. Women are naturally drawn to men who take care of themselves. You don't need to dress like a 25-year-old influencer. You don't need to follow every new fashion trend. But if you look like you've given up on yourself, she's not going to be interested. Why this happens? Men, especially older ones, sometimes develop a false sense of confidence. Maybe they were in a long-term relationship or marriage where they didn't have to put in effort. Maybe they've reached a level of success where they believe their status is enough. Maybe they just got comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of attraction. When a woman sees a man who doesn't take care of his appearance, she doesn't think, oh, he must be a deep thinker who doesn't care about material things. No, she thinks, if he puts this little effort into himself, how little effort will he put into me? And once that thought crosses her mind, it's over. The difference between looking old and looking distinguished. Here's something most men don't realize. Women love older men, but they dislike men who look like they've stopped trying. Look at George Clooney, Idris Elba, or Pierce Brosnan. These men aren't young, but they embrace their age with style. They don't try to look 20, they dress like men who respect themselves. And that's the key, self-respect. Mistake number 7, acting like you know everything. There's nothing worse than a man who thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Older men often do this without realizing it. They've lived longer, seen more, and experienced more, so they assume that gives them the right to lecture younger women on everything. But here's the truth: women don't want a teacher. They want a partner. The fine line between confidence and arrogance. Let's say you're on a date. She's talking about something she's excited about, maybe a book, a new business idea, or even just a hobby. An attractive older man listens, engages, and encourages her passion. But the man who ruins it does this. Actually, that's not how it works. You're too young to really understand this. Let me explain it to you the right way. In his mind, he's just being helpful. But to her, he's talking down to her. Why this is so unattractive? When a man constantly corrects a woman or acts like her thoughts aren't valid, it sends one message. Loud and clear, it sends one message: I don't respect your thoughts. And no woman, no matter her age, wants to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with being an older man dating a younger woman. In fact, when done the right way, it can be one of the most exciting and meaningful relationships out there. But if you make these mistakes, if you act controlling, insecure, dismissive, or like you've stopped caring about yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. You don't have to be young to be attractive. You just have to be a man who values himself. A man who gives her freedom instead of smothering her. A man who listens instead of preaching. A man who stays sharp instead of letting himself go. Because when you live by these qualities, it doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, or 60, women will naturally be drawn to you.